Hey everybody, welcome back to the Piano Shed. Glad you made it to part 2 of our Isn't She Lovely solo piano arrangement. On this part we're going to check out the second part of the melody and the intro. So let me play that second part of the melody for you. Okay, so let's start off with the right hand. We're going to do the same thing that we did the last time, which is just learning the single note top melody before we fill it in with any other notes. So our pickup to that melody, which we learned in the first video, starts on the D right above middle C with a triplet D, E flat, F. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. So we're using swung eighth notes, so you'll hear that in the rhythm. 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. That's the first phrase. The second phrase sounds like this. 1, triplet, 1, 4, and. 1, triplet, 1. And then the third phrase starts again on our same triplet. 1, 2, triplet, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So that's just going down in half notes. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So let's try that from the beginning, from our pickup. 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 2, 3, 1, 2, and a 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. The last thing we have to learn is a little pentatonic run, which is up a, well, I shouldn't say pentatonic, it's actually up a B flat major blues scale, starting on the F note. So we're going to start on this low F, F, G, B flat, C, C sharp, D, F, G, B flat. You could also think of it, if you know your blues scales, your minor blues scales, you could think of it up a G minor blues scale, just starting on F. Now we'll try to follow that fingering. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 5. And that rhythm is, we end on the B flat with our melody. 1, rest. So this F comes in on the upbeat. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So practice that a bunch until you have it in your right hand. We're actually going to be doubling that in the left hand, so you really want to make sure you have it good in the right hand. Okay, so now let's fill out that right hand a little bit. Our pickup notes, we're going to leave them as they are. And then our second F, we're going to fill out with a G, B flat, D, F, creating an E flat major 7 chord. Actually, we have a 9 on top, so we could call it E flat major 9. Those we're going to leave the same. Our next chord is a D7. So we have a D7 with some tensions. We have F sharp, B flat, a C, and an E flat. So for your theory people out there, we have the major 3rd, flat 13, 7, and flat 9. And then again, our pickup notes, we're leaving those 2 Ds just like they are. Our next chord is a G minor 7. Don't worry about the left hand for now. I'm just playing the root notes to give you a little bit of a sense of how the chords are going to sound. So then we have an F and a B flat under that D. And then again, we're just leaving the rest of the melody the same. And then when we get to our low G, we're going to harmonize it with an E natural. So let's go over that so far. All right, not so bad. One more time. Let's do it in tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Then we have our pickup, which we're harmonizing just like we did in that first section. And now for this part, harmonizing that first C with an E flat and G. Same thing, E flat and G is going to harmonize the B flat. Then we're going to switch to thirds. G is getting harmonized by the E flat. F is getting harmonized by a D. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Then we're ending on a B flat major triad. B flat, F, D. Leaving that just as a single note melody there. So let's try the whole right hand of our second section. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Okay, let's talk left hand. So what we're doing in the left hand is we're creating what's called a walking bass. So that means our bass notes, we're going to play one bass note for every quarter note. Gives it kind of like a jazz, sort of a swung feel. We're going to do a lot of outlining of the chords. So our first chord we talked about is an E flat major 7. So what we're going to do is start on the root in our left hand, go down to the third, the G, up to the fifth, and then back up to the root. 1, 2, 3, 4. For our D7 chord, we're gonna play that. So we're gonna play the root twice. Root, 7, 5th, 3rd. So those two connected. And for our next chord, which is a G minor 7, we're gonna just walk up G, A, B flat, B natural to C. That'll lead us to our next chord. And then for the C, we're going to walk down. And again, repeating that first C. Let's try those 4 measures. E flat, D7, G minor 7. So you have a nice little walking bass line there. And for the next couple measures, we're just going to do that same bass line we learned for our F chord back in that first section. Repeat it. And then we're going to end on that B flat there. So let's try that much. Okay, so now the last thing we have to learn in our left hand is that, so it's the same notes as before, up that B flat major blues scale or G minor blues scale, but just check out the fingering though. 5, 4, 2, 1. I think a good way to do it is to actually cross to your 4. 4, 3, 2, 1, 2. Well, you can get it kind of smooth. 5, 4, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2. And I'd recommend practicing that bunch, just like that, just like you're practicing a scale. Because that has to be pretty fast by the end. Okay, so let's take it nice and slow together again. Pay attention to where things match up, where they don't. Let's start with that little pickup. All right, let's do a medium tempo. And finally, up to studio tempo. Okay, that's it for the second section of the melody. We have one more small thing to learn. That's the intro to the tune. Remember that intro back from the first video sounds like this. And then we're right into the melody from there. Kind of a quick intro. And it borrows some things from the other parts of the tune, so it shouldn't be too hard to learn. Start with the left hand. So the left hand starts the same as we did for our G minor 7 chord. And then the C7 starts the same, but we add a little bit more rhythmic interest. Instead of going like this, we're going to change those last quarter notes to triplets and add a couple extra notes. C, B flat, G, C, B flat, G. So our new C7 looks like this. So G, C, one more time. Then we're going to repeat the G. And then just going to hold that second C note so that we can play the pickup right over that while we're holding that low C. Okay, so that's the left hand for the intro. The right hand only has 2 chords. We have this, F, B flat, and D. That makes a G minor 7 chord. And then for the second chord, we're just going to move our F down to an E natural. Gives us a C7 or a C9, root 7, 9. So the last thing we have to worry about is the coordination. So our first 2 chords come in right on the second pair of eighth notes. 1 and 1 and. So try that a few times. 1 and E, 1 and E, 1 and E, 1 and. So that's our first measure. 1 and E, and then the same thing happens for the first C7 chord. 1 and. Now it gets a little more complicated in this part. So we have our triplets. The first chord happens on the second triplet over the B flat. 1 triplet. And then the other C chord happens on the C. So 1. So that's on the downbeat. 3, 4. So that's where all the chords line up. On the and, on the and, on the and then the second note of the triplet, and then right on the fourth beat. Then we do the same thing for the next measure. 1 and 3 and 1 and So let's take that intro really slow so you can see where it lines up in action. 3, 4. Let's take it a little bit faster. 3, 4. One more time, a bit faster. 3, 4. All right, there you guys have it. That's Isn't She Lovely? Solo piano arrangement. Great tune by Stevie Wonder. Arrangement sort of loosely based off of a great Aaron Goldberg version of this tune. Thanks for watching The Piano Shed, and I'll see you next time.